Now let us discuss what is a serial transmission. And from a block diagrams perspective, we can see that if we now have the device 1 and we have device 2, and we want to send information from device 1 to device 2 using a serial transmission. And we know that in a serial transmission we have a single data. That means the data line, we will have only a single data line, and information will be transmitted one at a time between this transmission line. And now if we want to send 1010 from device 1, where 1010 represent the information in a data form, and now this data will be sent such that we will have 1010, where this should be the first bit and this should be the second bit, and this should be our third bit, and finally we have our fourth bit. And we can be able to see if we are to send, that means this is our sender or the transmitter, and this should be our receiver. And in that case, we now have to send this data, and we can show it graphically such that in the first second we have 1 2 3 4 5 2 3 4 5, and data will be transmitted such that we will have 1 0 1 and 0 to be transmitted. And this is when t is equals to 1 all the way to t is equals to 4. And if this is our sender, that means this data will be transmitted to the receiver, and from the receiver, if we are to see, we can have 1 2 3 4 and 5, where this is our time, and we can be able to see that we can have 0 1 0 and 1, and this is from our receiver. And if the data is to be plotted graphically, after 1 2 3 4 seconds the data will be represented in that manner. And this is our 1010, and it is transmitted as per the time in a synchronous mode. Therefore we can have 1010 at the receiver end. Similarly, if you have the computer which is again connected to a printer, and this is our printer, and we want to print this data, and we can have a single data line where information will be transmitted, and this is our information to be printed in a Office Word or a PDF, where we have 1010 which are to be printed on this printer, and this information will be transmitted one at a time to this printer, and this printer will decrypt this type of information represented by binary, and it will convert it to a printable form that will be printed. And we can be able to see the difference between how the data is transmitted using parallel transmission, and we can differentiate how it is transmitted using a serial transmission. And we can now have the data which is transmitted serially such that we have 1010 where t is equals to 1, t is equals to 2, t is equals to 3, and t is equals to 4. And when we transmit from the transmitter, and we can have from the receiving end, we can also have the same data, and now this data will be in this form 1010 1 0, where this will be t is equals to 1, t is equals to 2, t is equals to 3, and t is equals to 4. And we can see that the timing in which the data is sent and received is still in the same similar order. And this can be our receiver. To summarize this lecture, we can see that from the parallel transmission's perspective, we have multiple data lines in which data will be transmitted, and in a serial transmission we have a single data line in which the data will be transmitted from one device to another. And now I will also discuss to you how error can be occurred in a parallel transmission and in serial transmission. And we can draw device 1 in terms of a parallel transmission, and we can have device 2, and also we have device 1 and we have device 2, and this is our serial transmission. And if we have 1 0 1 0 to be transmitted in terms of a parallel transmission, and now if we have a broken cable in the parallel transmission mode, now what do you think? If this information is to be transmitted to the receiver, we now should have 1 0 and question mark and 0, where this question mark will be our error, and this error only occurs when there is a break in the parallel transmission line. Similarly, for the same data, we have 1 0 1 0 to be transmitted to device 2. And when we talk about the synchronous mode, we now look at the timing. The timing is very important, for we have 1 0 1 0 to be transmitted, t equals to 1, t is equals to 2, t is equals to 3, and t is equals to 4. And during the timing, if we now have this data to be transmitted, and there are some errors with the timing of the data to be sent. For instance, at t equals to 3, if this data is not properly sent, we should be able to get 1 0 question mark 0, where this will be our error. And remember, if this particular line is cut off or is not available, then we will have all this data that won't be available at the receiving end. And this becomes important for the type of transmission where here the clock become very important, where this data will be sent at t is equals to 1, and this data will be sent when t is equals to 2, and this data will be sent when t is equals to 3, and this data will be sent when t is equals to 4. And after 4 seconds, we know that this complete data will be available at the receiving end. And when there are no synchronization occur, that means this data can be mixed up, where they won't follow the order. When t is equals to 1, another data can be transmitted. Now, to summarize, we can see that these two are the main type of data transmission between devices. And depending on the application of your device, you can choose whether data you want to send can be using the parallel transmission mode or the serial transmission mode. And the important thing about serial transmission is the clock. If the clock is not synchronized properly, that means if you send information such as hello, and then on the other side, when these two devices are not synchronized properly using a clock, you might be getting who on the other side. So this who is not the original data that is sent because of the error that is occurring during the transmission, because the clock may not be synchronized properly or there are some problems with the cable. And in a parallel transmission, clock is not necessarily required. However, all the cables must be properly wired so that at time t is equals to 1, we can have all the data available at the receiving end. While for the serial transmission, data is transmitted one at a time, while for the parallel transmission, all data available at once at the receiving end. So I believe you learned something about the mode of transmission using the parallel and the serial transmission.
Thank you for watching our video. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends so they can also be able to learn.